after you're on it for a while and it finally kind of gets into your system, it's like a light switch turns off and it's like you don't give a fuck. Like you truly don't give a fuck about anything. If I had to go back, would I get on it? And I still feel like I would. I would not have been able to be working and without going to jail.
And relax. That's scary. Melanie P. Talk to him.
Scary with Melanie P. That's scary with Melanie P. Come on. Here we go.
Welcome to another episode of the That's Scary with Melanie P podcast. I am your girl, Melanie P, and we are here with another episode. Listen, before I get started, y'all, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that follow and share and comment and all the great things for all of my returning family. I love you guys. Welcome back to another episode. And for all my new people, welcome to the family. We are here to talk about everything from love, sex, life, culture, relationships, finances, any and everything in between. And today we are talking about my experience with the medication Zoloft. Now, I don't got no shame because it is what it is. I am an adult. I love to say that. And I really wanted to come on and talk about this because I feel like we are in a space now where a lot of stressors are around the average American. And literally since 2020, teenagers and adults taking some type of antidepressant, anti-anxiety medication has rose up 64% since 2020. And it really had me thinking, and I really wanted to share, the reason why I got on and then also share my experience. And then in the end, I'll let you know, if it's something that I feel like was beneficial, the pros, the cons, and if I'm still on it or not. All right. So as you know, I have a little baby. She is 1 year old, about to be 2. And I really went through a change after having her. I have an older daughter who's 17. So to go through almost 18 years of, being a parent of one child and then to, decide to have another baby later on in life was something that really was, it was just very different. And I think that it came with a lot of things that I feel like I didn't hear a lot of people talk about. Having a child later in life is, to me, it has a lot more pros than it has cons, but I feel like one of the main things with having a child later on in life is you are a different person mentally, physically than you were if you had a child like in your 20s, right? After I had my baby, typically standard, you get about 12 weeks of, maternity leave after having a baby. And then you're right back in the swing of things. And in the grand scheme of things, I don't feel like 12 weeks, which is 3 months about 3 months is enough to, recuperate, to bond with your child, to heal your body and to be, effective in the workplace, right? So I feel like I dealt with a lot of postpartum. And I feel like I didn't really understand what postpartum looked like. I thought that immediately after, if I felt sad or if I did not feel a connection to my child, then that would be what postpartum was. But I never felt that. I always felt an obsession with my baby, and I never felt any kind of weirdness about, towards her. And I guess, I had always assumed that would be kind of how postpartum looked. But postpartum, after the fact, I've read that postpartum can last and even start up to 2 years after having your baby. And I was not aware of that. I really thought that postpartum was something that, you got immediately after having your baby, and it would be more so, depression about having the baby or having, a lack of connection with the baby. And I did not have that. And I feel like me kind of going on a antidepressant, anti-anxiety medication it really kind of, I was really triggered. I feel like when I had to go back to work and having what I would call my new normal. So I was met with a lot of stress, like work wise, in a very, very toxic work environment. On top of, dealing with that 8 hours a day, adjusting to, finally getting adjusted to having a new baby and then having to take her to daycare, drop her off, get her, I always talk about my time management, and I feel like it was just a shock to my system. I remember when I first went back to work, being in a toxic work environment, I was having these horrible panic attacks like every single morning. Coming down, I work from home, so coming to my desk and just going down the steps and going to my desk, it was something that I've never experienced before. It was kind of like a horror movie. I dreaded getting up to go to work, and then every step down the steps and every step closer to my desk that I took, my heart began to race and race and race, and it was just really a bad feeling. So then I have that on top of, regular life stress, work stress, having a baby, not having no time, new baby not sleeping, getting adjusted, making sure she's okay. And it was a lot. Now, I've never been on any kind of like antidepressant, like drug that I'm taking every single day. And that was for a reason, because I'm not a medicine taker. I never wanted to put like a lot of medicines in my body. Like, I'm not the kind of person who will take, if I have a headache, I'm going to run and take like Tylenol. Like, that's just not my vibe. I don't like putting foreign things in my body, like medication. So it kind of shows the resort that I was on. You know what I'm saying? Like, it had to be very bad for me to have to resort to going to the doctor saying something is wrong and I need help. Um, I remember having the panic attacks daily. I remember, telling my friend, like, I feel like I cannot stop my mind and my thoughts from racing. And it was very, very bad. It was to the point to where I couldn't turn off the conversation in my head, and I could not focus at work, which was a whole domino effect, because I didn't work in a place that was healthy and had a healthy work-life balance. So not being able to function work-wise, and then having the baby, and then having, other personal things going on, it was just to the point to where I wasn't getting any sleep. I was barely eating. I'm sorry, erase that. I was overeating, because I was trying to fill in, like trying to get some type of comfort, some type of peace. I remember at that time, being a new parent, I did not realize, like, I was letting my baby stay up until like 11 o'clock. Like, I didn't really realize that I could put her to bed early. I was trying to go on her schedule and not creating her a schedule. So I was really getting little to no sleep. I had so much stuff going on, and I had to just be present in those situations. Your job don't be caring if you got stuff going on. Most jobs don't care if you got things going on. They just want you to perform. Your baby is a baby. They don't know what's going on. They just need their mom to be there for them. And then, you get to a point to where these are things that me personally, I don't like telling people. I don't like telling my family. I remember, and again, this goes to show how bad it was. I remember one day I was so, so, so stressed at work. And at that time, the job that I was on, having a lunch wasn't a thing. Leaving my desk, leaving my work area wasn't a thing. It was constant work, constant stress, constant when I tell you, when I'm in a space where I can talk about toxic work environments, this shit will blow your mind. So I wasn't really having any type of self-care. I wasn't really having, like, taking the time to take care of myself even through the workday. And I feel like, we talk so much about working from home and, how people can get over working from home. But I've been working from home for several years. And I will say, when I started working from home years ago, I realized that I was doing a whole lot much more work, working longer hours than I ever worked when I was in the office. When you're in the office, you go in and you leave at 5. There is no going back to your computer. You know what I'm saying? You're gone. And, that was something that I had to deal with as well. And to have a demanding job, but then to also have a new baby, it was just a mix of a bad recipe. It was a bad recipe. And I think it's so important to have like community and to have people that you can talk to about what's going on, because the only reason that I even went to my doctor is because a close friend suggested, like, girl, you cannot go on like this. Like, you need to go to your doctor. And I remember I called my brother like one day. I was so overwhelmed at work that I went outside and I just started to pray and cry. And I did not want to tell my family because I don't want people to worry. But I called my brother and I tried to just talk to him and be strong, child. But I just broke down, started crying, and he was trying to encourage me, and it was very helpful. He was even telling me about one of his friends, a guy who just had a baby and was going through something similar and was low key suicidal. And I'm thinking, damn, man, like, let me just go to my doctor. So I go to my doctor, black doctor, female doctor, who's amazing. And I feel very comfortable with her. And I explained to her, my circumstances, what was going on, the level of stress, the panic attacks, the like not sleeping, the anxiety, just everything that was going on. And she was like, girl, you need to get on something. So she prescribed me with Zoloft, which is, I'm actually taking the sertraline, which is like the off-brand, I guess, of Zoloft. And I was so hesitant because I just did not want to be on some type of drug that I had to take every single day, because she was very adamant about, this is something that you have to get on and then stay on, at least because you have to let it build up in your body for you to see the benefits of taking something every single day. So I was like, oh God, I don't want to take no shit. But I'm like, damn, I need to do something because this is not working for me. I'm not being productive in my life and this is not working. So she started me off on the 25 milligrams of Zoloft. I remember I got the prescription and I didn't even feel that bitch for like a week or two, because I'm like, you know what? I don't want this. I don't want to take this. So I did not fill the prescription, but then finally, child, it was just getting horrible. I said, you know what, shit, what the hell I got to lose? Like, people be on this shit all the time. Let me just get on it and see what happens. So I started out with 25 milligrams, didn't feel anything. The one thing that I will say that I felt off gate that was the worst was diarrhea. When I tell you, when I first got on Zoloft, I was like peeing out of my ass. Like, it was like the most watery, horriblest diarrhea I've ever had in my life. It was consistent. It was every day. It was diarrhea every single day. To the point where I'm like, oh my, like, it was like I was peeing out of my ass. It was horrible. One of the reasons why I did not want to get on as well is because I heard that, if you ever try to get off, it's a big deal. You can't just get off. You have to wean off. One of my friends was telling me, or one of my old friends who used to be on all these kind of drugs, she was telling me that, when she would get off the drugs, she would have these horrible zaps because it was her body, like, basically getting rid of. It was just crazy. It sounded horrible. People said how much they gained weight, how they felt so sleepy and lethargic. So I could not afford to be sleepy and lethargic with a stressful job and having a new baby. But I got on it anyway. So I got on it. I had the diarrhea. Did not feel nothing. Didn't feel anything working. I started going on like Reddit, TikTok, YouTube, getting an idea of what I could anticipate feeling. And everyone just kept saying, go with it. Just stay with it. Like, they kept saying that the first like month is going to be horrible and the worst, but then once you get it in your body and it builds up, you'll feel better. And they also said that, when you increase your dosage, you'll also feel better. So I went up to 50 milligrams and I started really not feeling anything, still had constant diarrhea. I did start to feel kind of lethargic and tired. I did begin to feel that when I hit up 50 milligrams. And then I said, you know what, forget this, because I feel like I'm not really feeling anything. I'm still having a little bit of anxiety. I still feel a little jittery. Let me bump it up. Now let me go back, because when I say jittery, I want to emphasize this as well. When I first got on that damn Zoloft, it was like I had the worst jitters. This is why I almost got off of it. So if I was having anxiety and shit before, like low key, when I first got on that Zoloft, it was making me have the worst anxiety ever. It was almost like it was a shock to my body. And my body was like, hold up, bitch, what is this? And it was having like anxiety, like panicking, like, what are you putting in your body? What are you putting in your body? So that is when I was like, I can't do this, child. But I kept reading, I kept researching. I found that that was normal. I talked to my doctor. She said that that's normal, but I have to just stick with it and just get through that phase. So I got through that phase. I ended up going up to 100 milligrams. And I feel like overnight, I went from having anxiety, having the panic attacks, not being able to really focus and concentrate, to feeling nothing. And when I say nothing, feeling a very numb feeling. It did not hit me that I was feeling so numb until my friend said to me, when I talk to you now, it's like, and you got shit going on, in your personal life or just at work or whatever. She's like, you were talking like you're telling somebody else's story. Like there's no emotion behind it. There's no sadness or stress behind it. It's like you're telling a story about somebody else. And it sounds so like just, not dead, but it just sounds so like unhype, unbothered, uncaring. I'm like, oh my God, girl, you're right. Like, I don't even remember the last time I cried. I don't feel like I feel any emotion towards anything. This shit is really working. So I was like, oh wow, this shit is really working. I went back to Reddit and YouTube and all the different places, and I started to kind of research, like what happens after you're on it for a while. And everybody kept saying the same thing, like literally after you're on it for a while, and it finally kind of gets into your system, it's like a light switch turns off and it's like you don't give a fuck. Like you truly don't give a fuck about anything. And I remember this one lady put in this Reddit page that her husband said to her, like, wow, like you seem so unbothered, and you're literally like, she was kind of like me, like she had to make sure the house was clean, make sure the bed was made, and now she didn't give a fuck if the bed was made or the house was clean at all. And I'm like, that is really me. I'm the kind of person that I would never, ever, ever dream of like leaving a bed or leaving my bed without making it up. Like I would never leave my bed or bedroom without making it up. That just seems like, the worst thing you could ever do. And I saw that I had not made my bed up for months. I didn't care about stuff not being in order. Like typically I'm very anal about that. Like I like things to be in order in the house, things to be perfect, bed to be made, pillows to be in the right spot. And I did not care. And I still don't care. The stress that I had at work vanished. The anxiety and the stress and dealing with toxic people and having that experience day in and day out. First of all, I'm gonna be a buck with y'all. When you mess with me, I'm gonna give it to the ancestors. And people was kind of like, I was having these horrible encounters at work, and boo, I am favored. And I went to my ancestors and I said, y'all handle that. And my ancestors have handled that. And I'll leave it at that. And it'll be more to that when I can talk about it. So that stress that I was having at work, that went away. Like really like the constant just mind racing thoughts went away. That voice kind of just went away. And it's kind of embarrassing to even say, because it almost felt like I wasn't hearing voices, but I felt like I was hearing, it's like I was having a constant conversation in my mind. So if shit wasn't going right, it was like it was a conversation in my head constantly talking about what if, and oh, shit ain't going right, feel bad. And that voice just shut up. The voice just shut up. The diarrhea stopped after several months. The diarrhea finally did stop. I am still on it because honestly, I want to get off. Let's just be clear. I want to get off because I've been on it now for about 3 or 4 months, 3 or 4 months, maybe closer to 4 months. And I'm kind of over it. Like, it does feel good to it feels very good to feel that calm, that unbothered, because at the end of the day, I'm still in a stressful job. I still have, a new baby. I'm still kind of going through a little bit of postpartum, and I'm nervous to get off, but I just don't want to be in a space to where I need a medication to be able to function in life. When Tayomi came on the show, she was telling me that she always advocates for meditate before medicate. And that sounds great. That sounds beautiful. But sometimes I feel, and this is horrible to say, because I feel like I agree that you should always go the holistic route before medicating. But sometimes when you got all types of shit going on, it might be easier to get on something for a little while. I feel like looking back now, going through the experience of being on something where I have to take it every day. If I had to go back, would I get on it? And I still feel like I would, because I feel like I would not have been able to be working and without going to jail. Like, I probably would have been in jail if I didn't have an antidepressant to take every day, because when I tell you, I'm not a very confrontational person. I've never really been in any kind of toxic environments for the most part. And to be in toxic environments in different areas of my life, like it's a lot for a personality like mine. Like, I'm a very go with the flow, like to have fun, work hard, play hard kind of energy. And so when anything disrupts my peace or robs me of peace, it's like a shock to my body. And so to have it coming from all different angles, like relationship, job, new baby, everything was just coming at me at once. And it was a lot. It was a lot. And obviously my having older parents, you don't want to, make them worry. So you have to just deal with it at the end of the day. I will also say that, so I do feel, let me just make these bullet points. I feel very much unbothered. I feel very much unbothered. It's not that like nothing will bother me, but I'm giving unbothered. The bed is still not made up, and I don't like that. So I'm going to start like implementing my old, that back in my routine, because that's just never been me. That's disgusting. My mom would kill me. So I'm trying to get back into my routine, but I guess just being able to quiet the noise has been the most beneficial to me. Not allowing outside things to affect me the way that they did before has been very, very beneficial. I will say that it definitely affected my energy and definitely affected my libido, because it is non-existent. And that's one thing also that Tayomi was saying on her episode last week. And that's one thing that I have heard consistently in all of the articles I read, is that Zoloft will rob you of your libido. You don't have no libido. You don't have no desire to do anything sexual. And I feel like that's, between the diarrhea, the non-existent libido, and the lethargic feelings, I think those will probably be like some of the worst effects of the drug. Everybody doesn't have to be on 100 milligrams. I feel like everybody's different, and some people said that all they needed was 50. Some people who are on 200 milligrams, I don't want to go that far. I think my plan is to start backing off of it, and I bumping myself down to 50 and then 25 and then eventually getting off of it. I do not want to be on this shit. I'm saying I don't want to be on it, but I have to be honest that I'm truly, truly scared to get off, because I can't imagine going back to that space. But I feel like I would be better equipped to try to handle my anxiety in a more natural, meditating type way. Now, another person told me that when their friend got off of the drug, they had a flood of horrible, horrible panic attacks, anxiety, worse than before. And it was so bad that they had to actually get back on. And that really scared me because I wanted this just to be temporary. Um, I don't think I gained weight, but I will say that my energy levels are low and I'm not really like working out the way I would like to. But yeah. So I guess at the end of the day, I think my takeaways for everyone is to understand that if you're a new mom, postpartum can be up to 2 years after your baby is born. I think that it's important to have at least one or two people that you trust with, with your feelings and that you trust to kind of help you make the decision if you need it. I think it's great to do the research, on the drugs and be aware of what the side effects are, the diarrhea, the lethargic feelings, the tiredness, which is lethargic feelings, and just feeling very much unbothered, disconnected, and not caring. That's what it is. And I will say one of the main things that was big was the fact that you have to kind of stay on that shit. You got to stay on it for at least a month or two to really, really, really get the effects. And you have to work with your doctor to see like what dosage, big or small, is going to make you actually have benefits from the drug. So yeah, don't feel bad about being on that shoot. I do not. I think that it's been very, very helpful, and I'm grateful that I had a great doctor who took the time, worked with me, got me on something that, leveled me out. And I think it's my time to exit off of it, to be honest with you. This is April. Oh, it is scary because I'm saying that I want to get off of it, but there's almost a fear to get off of it because of what it's doing and how it's helping me. So I don't know. My long-term plan is to not be on this shit by the end of the year. I definitely do not want to be on this shit by the end of the year. Like when it turns into the colder months, I do not want to be on this, for sure. So I'm gonna come back and let y'all know, if anything's changed, if I've gone off of it. If you have any questions about this, my experience, please let me know. Drop them in the comments. I will answer all of your questions in the comments. Yeah, I'm still on it and I feel totally fine, and we'll see what happens, y'all. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for listening to this episode. I will catch you on the next episode.